Mr. Vice President, I'm speaking.
Well, wait.
I'm speaking.
Fuck being good, I'm a bad bitch. I'm sick of motherfuckers trying to tell me how to live.
So if you've seen my last video, here is an add-on to that. On Friday night, before we knew anything, we had a long political conversation. And I just want to give you a little tidbit of something that we talked about. Taxes. I got mansplained what taxes were. And this is what they said. The tax bracket is so fucked up. Think about it this way. If someone makes $100 and they buy a Coke, the Coke will be taxed. But they can afford that Coke in the tax. If someone makes $10, they buy a Coke, but buying a Coke with that tax takes out way more money out of their paycheck than it would with someone with $100. Sir, that's not taxes, that's merchandise tax. That's literally always going to exist no matter how much you make. The tax bracket in question is salary and income tax, which is completely different. Your understanding of the tax bracket makes me think that you shouldn't be allowed to vote.
You know who this is, right? It's Stephen Miller, Donald Trump's senior immigration advisor. Well, The Guardian is reporting that Miller has several executive orders in mind for Trump to sign should he be reelected. Now, why hasn't Trump signed these executive orders already, you might ask? Well, apparently they are so harsh that they are afraid if he did sign them, it might harm his chances of re-election. What are they then? Well, they want to eliminate birthright citizenship, which means if you're born in the United States, you're a citizen, which may prove difficult because arguably the 14th Amendment to the Constitution guarantees it. They want to make taking the test for U.S. citizenship more difficult, which is kind of funny because a recent survey showed that 2/3 of Americans couldn't pass that test themselves. They want to end temporary protected status, which prevents people from being deported if they'd be returned to a country which is in crisis. And they want to slash refugee and asylum seeking admissions to 0. So let's keep our immigrant friends in mind as we vote in this election.
I don't think he's fit for office. I don't think he has the competence to carry out the job.
To go to work for a man who is pretty undisciplined, doesn't like to read.
This morning, former Secretary of Defense James Mattis tearing into President Trump, writing, "We are witnessing the consequences of 3 years without mature leadership."
It was shocking to see the president saying that the virus was a hoax, saying that everything's okay when we know that it's not.
You're not going to use whether it's the military or the National Guard or law enforcement to clear peaceful American citizens for the President of the United States to do a photo op.
He is a racist, he is a con man, and he is a cheat.
I am frustrated at our inability to be heard as scientists.
What we saw week in and week out, and for me after 2.5 years in that administration, was terrifying.
Putin thinks he can play him like a fiddle.
He's undermined the intelligence community, the law enforcement.
Women, when y'all go on dates, y'all better ask better questions. That's what you got to do. That's why you keep having the same results. You keep asking the same questions. You asking the same questions your mama was asking when she was in these streets. You got to ask better questions. Go deeper with your question asking when you're getting to know somebody, all right? Like next time you're getting to know a man, go deeper with that, you know? Be like, yeah, do you got any kids? You're going to be like, no. Go deeper. Do you have any on the way? Because that's a difference. You got to go deeper. Be like, yeah, do you live with your mama? You're going to be like, no. Go deeper. Do your mama live with you? You got to go deeper.
So part 2, if you haven't seen part 1, just click on the last video. But look, the guy hit me up and he said, hey man, is that your biological father? I said, yeah, it's my biological father. He said, oh, me and my wife didn't know that you were black. I said, yeah. I said, you know, my mom's white, my dad's black. I said, you know, I'm biracial. He said, oh, we thought that you were, you know, strictly white and like maybe Puerto Rican or, you know, some other race. I said, nah, man, I'm black and white. He said, oh, okay. And then I go to send a message again and it wouldn't let me send a message. And I said, what? This guy blocked me. Him and his wife blocked me. I'm pretty sure they blocked me on Instagram. I'm pretty sure they blocked me on TikTok. Guys, I am black and white. I'm sorry if I hurt your feelings, but I'm biracial. I really don't know what you want me to do, but if you want to block me for being biracial, hey, I'm completely cool with that, guy. You and your wife are going somewhere with that shit.
Do you want to know how desperate Donald Trump is? On Sunday night, Trump and his campaign emailed me 3 times in the span of 3 hours. Yes, I signed up for Donald Trump's mailing list so that I could know what he's up to. And today it paid off wonderfully. Look at this. This was the first email. It says, "It's not over yet. Election Defense Task Force," and he's asking for money. He wants your money. The second one is, "Stop counting illegal ballots. Blah, blah, blah. The truth, blah, blah, blah. The media, Joe Biden, blah, 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 blah." And the third one was, "President Trump wants to know what you think from Team Trump. Blah, blah, blah. I'm Ashley." This is all so fabulous.
This person really just said, how did Biden win Michigan when all I see around Michigan is Trump flags? Biden supporters are not a freaking cult like Trump supporters are. We're not going to the store and spending thousands of dollars on Biden gear. We're not putting Biden flags on our cars. We went to go vote. Also, sis, you telling me you've been all around Michigan? All around Michigan?
When was America last great?
For me, I would say the turning point for our country was 1913, when we passed the 17th Amendment. And what's
so like back when like women couldn't vote?
Yeah, well, back up, but again, let's
like that
go back.
That's kind of your sweet spot right there?
Absolutely.
It's 2020, and slavery is still legal in Nebraska. It was literally on the ballot today to make it illegal. And we think systemic racism isn't real?
You know, I could argue with you about this, but I'm not even going to bother. I don't think you understand. And I'm going to take the liberty of speaking on behalf of all Biden supporters. We don't care. We don't care. If Mr. Potato Head was running against Trump, we would vote for him. We will do whatever it takes to get that piece of shit out of the White House and restore our country's morals and values.
But if Biden wins, we coming, and we coming strong.
What?
Nobody wants a civil war. I know I sure as shit don't.
I sure as
See, I've
shit
been to
don't.
war. I don't want my family to experience that shit.
Nope.
That being said, you want to push it. I was a fucking infantryman in the United States Army.
Respect.
I wake up with a dick harder than anything you ever done in your life. I don't know what you think is in there, but I can assure you that you sure as shit don't want to fucking find out.
I don't know either.
He's our president, and he won't lose. I ain't believing shit till Fox News say it's over. Isn't that right?
Yeah.
Isn't that
The
right?
Fox News decision desk can now project that former Vice President Joe Biden will win Pennsylvania and Nevada, putting him over the 270 electoral votes he needs to become the 46th president of the United States.
Donald Trump is the 45th president of
Joe Biden ain't gonna win, I hope, because if he does, I'm taking my ass and I'm moving to Canada.
Brother, I don't think you know much about Canada. They're a pretty liberal country. I don't think you're gonna fit in.
Sixth grade teacher asked her class the other day how many of them were Trump fans. And most of them not knowing what a Trump fan was and of course wanting to be liked by their teacher, they all raised their hands. Well, all except for little Johnny. The teacher looks over at little Johnny and says, "Johnny, why are you being different again?" And he says, "Well, 'cause I'm not a Trump fan." And she says, "Well, why are you not a Trump fan?" And he says, "'Cause I'm a Democrat." She says, really, why are you a Democrat? He says, well, my mom's a Democrat and my dad's a Democrat, so I'm a Democrat. She says, oh, really? Well, what if your mom was a moron and your dad was an idiot? What would that make you? Johnny smiles and says, a Trump fan.
Joe Biden won the election? Steven, get in here.
Yes, sir. What's up?
Did you do this? Is this you, this Joe Biden thing?
No, I did what you said.
Well, who the hell did it? I had a whole plan. This is not how this was supposed to work out. It was gonna be terrible. We had the election going on forever. People were gonna be miserable. I don't understand what happened here. Who did this? Who caused this to happen?
Liberals care about black votes, while conservatives care about black people.
Let's just make this perfectly clear. Trump supporters are not conservatives. They're nationalists. They're white supremacists. They're in a cult. Don't try to give yourself that name conservative when you out here supporting Donald Trump, who shits on the Constitution, who shits on all conservative ideologies. Married 3 times, had sex with a porn star and paid her off. That's conservative behavior. These videos are making me laugh. Trump supporters don't care about black people. They care about themselves and money. So you and your little cult members can go back under the rocks you came from.
Okay, so I pretty much figured out this whole situation with the way that Cubans vote, and this is how it goes, okay? The Cubans that care more about the situation in Cuba and about it getting fixed and communism and etc., those Cubans primarily vote for Trump. The Cubans that give more of a fuck about this country, the country that they live in, the country that they are citizens in and residents in, and should be worrying mostly about, vote or have voted for Biden today.
Some of y'all have seemed frankly scared of me since I got on this app, and it's been hilarious, but I can't figure out why. Otherwise you'd take the time to troll and threaten a little Colorado woman like me. Whew, but in an election where you want to criminalize abortion, y'all can't wear a mask to literally save your own life or anybody else's, but you want to criminalize my pussy? Baby, messed with the wrong redneck.
God, I can't wait till Trump makes America great again. We're going to tell all those gays that they can't be married no more. We're also going to tell all these women to quit sleeping around because abortions ain't going to happen on our watch. No more baby killing. Also, these NFL hotshots, they're going to have to stand up, cover their heart, take off their hat for the national anthem. We're going to make prayer compulsory in school, and we're going to make sure that every kid stands up and says the national anthem, and make sure that this dumb liberal media quits saying that all this is okay. That's great, sir, but you have to have a mask to be in here. Fuck shit. You think I'm gonna sit here and let the government tell me what I can and can't do? I got rights.
We were actually business people before we got into politics. 1,376 genders.
He seems a little high, like he's on drugs or something, but hopefully he's okay. A little yipped up.
Let me stop you right there. Company policy says you can't come onto the premises unless you're wearing a mask. And before you hit me with any excuses, y'all celebrated a bakery denying a gay couple service on the basis of them being gay. So you can bunny hop your goofy looking ass right back outside and grab a mask, which you should need anyway, considering you look like an overcooked hard-boiled egg. And if you don't have one, you can call your brother dad to come bring you one.
Yo, so I used to work for Donald Trump. I was an assistant superintendent on his golf course, Trump National, D.C. I'm going to tell you guys a couple stories about him that are true. I don't care whether or not you like them or don't like them, but these are completely true stories. And the first one is when my boss was being hired, he was working in Florida on another golf course as an assistant, and Donald Trump came up and he was going to interview him, and his boss at the time was like, yo, you got lunch with Donald Trump. He's going to interview you for his golf course in D.C. And he was like, all right, cool, I'll bring a suit tomorrow. And he's like, no, it's today. And then so they go to lunch, and they're all at lunch, and the waitress comes over, and Donald Trump stops talking, And then she leaves after they take their order, and he just says to everybody, "Did you see the tits on that one? What would you do if you had a chance with those titties?" And then after the interview, my boss went back to his boss, and he was like, "Hey, how'd the interview go?" And he was like, "I think it went pretty good. I mean, we talked about the waitress's tits." And then
There's no way that's true. It's true. Here in Australia, we get 10 days of paid sick leave. Alrighty then. What about you, United Kingdom, former arch enemy? That was a long time ago, US. But to answer your question, we get the equivalent of $125 for up to 28 weeks. And you, Germany? We get 6 weeks of paid sick leave, and that's the minimum. What about you? Aren't you guys like the richest country in the world? Well, we don't actually have a national paid sick leave policy. Is he serious? I'm not sure. But we can take unpaid sick days and not get fired. Sometimes.
Sitting here getting a fat bitch on, I'm trying to get my head around what happened in Graham, North Carolina. They had a get out the vote event on the last day of early voting. They did have permits and about 200 people attended. They heard some speeches and then they were going to march to a polling place so people could vote. On the way there, they stopped for 9 minutes of silence to honor George Floyd. Right about then, the Graham Police Department lost its fucking mind and gassed them. There were kids in this crowd. There were disabled people in this crowd. One lady in a wheelchair had a seizure because of the gas. And the people trying to help her then were gassed again. And the police department in Graham saying, "Whoa, people were off the sidewalk and they were blocking traffic and traffic was backing up." Graham, North Carolina has a population of 15,000 people. How much fucking traffic could you possibly have in that little town? This was voter suppression, you racist Billy Bob assholes.
This is interesting. These are exit polls. These are issues that are important to people that are voting for Trump. Only 5% care about COVID.
Look at Biden voters. Among Biden voters, inequality is the top
Wow.
issue. 36% of Biden voters say racial inequality is the most important issue to their vote, followed by the coronavirus at 27%.
It's like Biden voters seem to have a bit more fucking empathy.
And they're actually chanting, "Fox News sucks. Fox News."
Hey, Fox News producers, you'll like this. This is the Frankenstein you've been creating over the past 4 years. Good fucking luck. With any luck, they'll start with Fucker Carlson.
At this news article. Utah just officially outlawed slavery. I know this seems like an old article, but if you look in the bottom right corner, it's actually from November 4th. Oh, you wait, there's more. It said that there was an overwhelming majority vote on election day. So who voted against it? But wait, there's more. The amendment was actually approved after receiving more than 81% of the vote. I just want to talk. Who was the 19%? That's all I want to know. Drop their names. Who was it?